what's going on, guys? It's Cynical and welcome back to another Spyro news and information video. Today for you guys, we have something pretty damn cool to talk about because out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere, this morning PlayStation decided to drop 12 minutes of Spyro 2 gameplay for the Reignited Trilogy. Now, I actually brought out a video a couple of days ago just basically talking about how San Diego Comic-Con is actually soon to arrive, and that we know that Toys for Bob are actually going to be attending this convention in order to talk about the Reignited Trilogy. They're actually hosting a panel as well as a Q&A session during the event, and so I was kind of thinking, well, seeing as Spyro skipped out E3 in the ways of showing us Spyro 2, or even really another Spyro trailer, what we mainly got out of E3 was all of the demo footage. I was thinking that because Spyro 2 wasn't shown at E3, it's likely that San Diego Comic-Con will likely give us our first sneak peek towards the next game. And while I still think it's pretty likely that during San Diego Comic-Con there will likely be another Spyro trailer that will hopefully drop that focuses on Spyro 2, we now already have 12 minutes of Spyro 2 gameplay, which is absolutely fantastic. So like I was saying, PlayStation dropped this morning, and it's 12 minutes of gameplay sitting down with a few of the developers from Toys for Bob, and essentially they're just talking about everything to do with the Reignited Trilogy, and mainly how their focus is retaining the game's original form, but also modernizing it at the same time. So basically just keeping the game authentic and original to exactly what it was, and I think that's extremely important. We've talked about this many times, but when you are, of course, you know, giving a game from 20 years ago a fresh coat of paint, it's important that you don't alter or change the game too far from what the original was. In the sense of modernizing the game in the ways of controls, that's totally fine and so welcomed. Especially when you look at the camera situation, where originally you could only control the camera with the shoulder buttons. Now in the Reignited Trilogy, due to modernization, we can now control the camera with the right analog stick, which, yes, is a welcome change. However, though, we have 12 minutes of Idle Springs gameplay, which is one of the earlier levels in Spyro 2, and my god, it looks so good. I'm sorry, but like every single time I see new footage for the Spyro Reignited Trilogy, I am constantly taken by awe. In this game, when you just compare like the original levels to how these levels are now looking, they just look so much more vibrant, so much more colorful. There's a lot more stuff going on, just the animations of the characters within the worlds. And good old Bob over here, you know, just smacking himself in the head with his hammer. Bob, what are you doing? That's not safe! Now this video only shows us Idle Springs, so it's essentially the entire level with the guys actually doing the mini games within the world. This includes the little box puzzle, the fish mini game, as well as the pattern puzzle. And then on top of that, there is also the supercharged mini game to save the hula girl. I'm really glad they decided to do the entire level in itself. It means we get to see a decent amount of like what is going on, especially with Spyro talking to the different characters within the world as well. We got to see what the text box looked like. We kind of got to see like dialogue and how that slightly changed up too. And speaking of dialogue, we did actually get to hear a little bit of the voice acting for the Formans throughout the Idle Springs world. Now, I've never really had a major issue with the voice acting across the Spyro games. For the most part, the dialogue has always been very lighthearted. It's been fun, and it's obvious that the dialogue is certainly aimed towards that of a younger audience. So when it comes to the dialogue of the Spyro games, it's nothing really groundbreaking, but this time around the voice acting, I have to say, is a lot more enjoyable within the Reignited Trilogy. The voice actors just seem to have a different level of enthusiasm this time around, which really helps distinguish the characters throughout each of the worlds, and with this provides the characters with more personality. Just from what I've seen within this demo, as well as actually playing the Spyro Reignited Trilogy at E3, so far I have to say that one of the things that I'm most impressed by within this trilogy is certainly the upping towards voice acting. Now, one thing that I was a little bit disappointed not to see within this footage is Spyro actually using his glide stop. Now, the glide stop in Spyro 2 and Spyro 3 is actually different from the way that glide stopping works in Spyro 1. When you use the glide stop, which is essentially gliding and then pressing triangle to stop in mid-air, Spyro will essentially just immediately fall to the ground. Now, in amongst all of the control revision that happened for both Spyro 2 and 3, this was actually one of the aspects that got revised. And instead in Spyro 2 and 3, when you press triangle during mid-glide, Spyro actually flutters up into the air for a few seconds to provide you with more of an accurate and precise landing, opposed to how glide light stopping worked in Spyro 1. Unfortunately, we didn't actually get to see the guys who were playing the demo actually use this, which I'm a little bit sort of sad about. I was hoping to actually see how that's looking within the Reignited Trilogy. All in all though, this is the Idle Springs that we remember it being so many years ago, but now we're just looking at it with an extra level of detail. Or should I say a juicy, fat, moist, thick layer of detail. It's, oh my god, I cannot even handle it, dude. Like I was saying in my video a couple of days ago, I still feel as if San Diego Comic-Con will likely provide us with an actual fully blown trailer to promote Spyro 2, and then of course we also do have Gamescom happening next month in August, in which would be the perfect spot for Toys for Bob to drop more stuff to do with Spyro, but mainly Spyro 3. Keep in mind that the game is coming out in September, so we don't have too much longer. But however guys, with all that being said, that is going to do it for today's video. In the comment section down below, let me know your thoughts and opinions towards how you think Spyro 2 is looking within the Reignited Trilogy. I have to say that personally, I'm super impressed. However guys, I'm Cynical, hopefully you're having a fantastic day, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.